Well, welcome to RMTV. We're joined by Steve Todd, National Secretary on the maritime side of the Union. Steve, a lot going on at the moment on the maritime side for the Union. Tell us what's happening with Stena Britannica down at Harwich.
Yeah, a difficult situation at Harwich, Geoff. We've been in negotiations with Stena Line there for quite some time now over the continuance of the British jobs on board the Stena Britannica. The company are going to replace the vessel this year with a new Stena Britannica. In fact, this month they will replace the vessel with the new Stena, which is bigger than the old Britannica. So we were expecting to get more jobs as a result of that ship being a bigger ship and needing more manpower on board, which we've demonstrated quite ably that it needs that. And instead of getting more manning on board with our own seafarers, the company are proposing to reduce the manning by about 19-20 British ratings and replace them with another 9 or 10 Filipinos. That to us is another slap in the face, and it's something we said we're not interested in. We wanted to retain the jobs we had an agreement to do that, and we were looking at increasing the jobs. So despite our request to the company not to go ahead and serve notice of redundancy to people, and it's only voluntary redundancy, I hasten to add, but nonetheless we're not in the ball game of having any redundancies in Harwich. We want to retain the British jobs we've got there, and we want to increase them. Now I think this is a direct slap in the face for us because Stena are not getting their own way with us over the Filipinos that's on board. We've been negotiating with them, as it's our duty through the Athens policy, the ITF Athens policy, what says the flag state union should negotiate the rates for the foreign nationals on board. We've been trying to do that with Stena Line and bring the foreign nationals rate of pay up to a respectable level. They've made an offer to us to bring it up to the ITF minimum standard, but that falls well short of the European ferry standard rate of pay, which is in effect the UK minimum wage for those seafarers. Now if we were to sign that agreement, the company said they would leave our jobs alone, but in signing that agreement, we'd be selling those people out and undermining our own policy of trying to get the minimum wage applicable on ferry operations between the UK and European ports. So we're not in that game, and we've told them quite clearly, unless you retract the notices you've served, or the offer of redundancy you've served, we will go ahead and ballot our members. And in fact what we have done today is serve notice on the company that we're balloting our members for industrial action.
Steve, the Stena's not the only ferry company that we've got issues with at the moment. We've also got the situation with Dreyfus. Can you just expand on that for a little while?
Yeah, well, Dreyfus there, they come into Dover in a blaze of glory, if you like, offering jobs to British seafarers because they're a French-owned company. They're getting tonnage tax from the UK government. They put the ships under a UK flag, and they promised us all kinds of British jobs on board those ferries, along with some European jobs as well. You know, an even balance, should we say, all around. A lot of our people took jobs with LD lines there just nearly 12 months ago, and now it's all going pear-shaped. Dreyfus have found that the services are no longer profitable. They're not making the money they expected out of it, and there just isn't the capacity there. So it's overcapacity in Dover again, which is no good for the market for us. And at the end of it, the lack of people needing the service has made Dreyfus think again, and now they're pulling out of Dover. That's going to leave all those people who took jobs and left other jobs to go to work for Dreyfus in the lurch. So we're in a difficult position now of trying to find out from Dreyfus, Meridian, who are a charter party company, and Clyde Marine, who are another company who manage some of the seafarers there. So we don't really know what's going to happen to the seafarers, and all those seafarers are just left dangling, wondering what's happening with them. So we've got a job there trying to get Dreyfus to get around the table with all the concerned parties. And we've told Dreyfus we're not going to tolerate that. They need to be sitting down with Clyde Marine, with Meridian, with the RMT, and explaining to us what's happening to our seafarers there.
And also this week, Steve, the whole question of the future of Dover Port has been very much in the news. The Trust Board down there talking about possibly privatising it, selling it off for £300 million. The local Tory MP talking about some concept of a people's port bought out by the people of Dover. What's RMT's reaction to all of that?
Well, we're quite astounded that he's talking about what he said in the last few days about a buyover and about saying he's got people from unions agreeing with him. This union is not agreeing with him for sure. We've got the biggest concern down there with the majority of our members working down there, and we're not in agreement to any part privatisation or any sell-off at all. We think that the harbour should remain as it is, and stay as it is, because what will happen in effect is the costs of the harbour will go up. They're already going up, and P&O and Norfolk Line, who all employ our seafarers down there, are all being hit by the increased charges. And bet your bottom dollar, if it gets privatised or part privatised or bought out somewhat, the costs will go up again. Already the companies are feeling the effect of shelving the project of having the second terminal or the extended terminal down there, and it's all gone on the back burner. And in the meantime, the biggest UK ferry port, you know, is in the spotlight again and being advertised and being put up there to sold off, so somebody can come in and cherry pick the best parts of it. It's not on, and we're going to be opposed to it and doing what we can to stop it.
And finally, Steve, another privatisation fight back on the agenda again, the possible threat to the Royal Fleet Auxiliary, part of the government's comprehensive spending review. They're talking about, again, market testing the RFA, a campaign that RMT's been involved in for some time now. Where are we at with that?
Well, you know, Geoff, people will be actually scratching their heads and wondering where we are at it, because we're doing exactly the same ourselves. We've been bumping our gums and talking about this now for a couple of months. And what's in effect happening now is the value for money review is well underway, and members know about that. We've spoke about that on many times on RMT TV. But we're being somewhat left in the dark now as to what stage the process is at. We know that they've completed one part of the review, and now they're going out to the industry to see which companies would be interested in running the RFA. It, to me, smacks of the idea that they're going to just put it out to privatisation at the end of it, or they say that's not decided yet. They say there's no decision been finalised on it yet. But to me, that's what they're trying to do, and they're trying every conceivable way. Now, it's interesting what I read in the press this week, that a statement from the former MOD Minister, Kevin Jones, who said they completed the review before they went out of office. Well, if they'd completed the review before they went out of office, why didn't they make a statement then, instead of leaving it in the hands of the condems to go ahead and continue the work what they were starting in the first place? If they completed the review, and their view was, and his words, not my words, was that RFA was best left as it was, as the previous review said 3 years ago. Value for money, RFA was best left as it was. Now, they can continue to talk to as many people in the industry, or as many shipping companies in the industry, and see who's interested in running RFA. But let me tell them this, any attempt to cut jobs or cut terms and conditions, or try and privatise it, we'll have to resist in every possible way we can. And as far as we're concerned, the political campaign goes on and the industrial campaign goes on, and we'll be stepping up again now, because we're now going to write to the government under the Freedom of Information Act and find out what the exact conclusion was of the last Labour government, because we believe we're entitled to that information. And if that information said RFA was best left as it was, well, let's get the information in the public domain, and let's ask the condems, why are you continuing with that process?
So all in all, Steve, busy times ahead for the RMT in terms of the maritime side.
Yeah, Geoff, as always, busy times, but also worrying times, especially when you've got people who face losing their jobs in Dover with LD lines and facing the possible privatisation of the port and RFA. We will have to be vigilant and keep our finger on the pulse at all times.
Steve Todd, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Geoff.